Now here's question 2. This is a type of question that sometimes causes people to panic because we're not given the actual functions, and it seems like, well, we can't do anything without them. But a question like this is designed to test your ability to apply the limit laws, which tell you what things you can do with a limit. For instance, so we want to compute this. We're given some background information that we're going to need in a minute. And what it boils down to is we want to get, as much as possible, we want to get the f of x's and the g of x's on their own, because we're given values for them, so we can use those values. So the limit laws tell us that the limit of a quotient, which is what we have here, here's our limit, here's our quotient. That doesn't sound like the right word, but anyway, two things that are divided. As long as the bottom thing is not 0, we can make it be the limit of one thing over the limit of the other. So let's just keep that in mind to check as we go on. Oops. You might see the x going to 3 as like a subscript on the limit, but we normally only do that when we're writing a limit in line in text. When you're handwriting, we generally always put it underneath the limit like that. So the limit law says that, the division law says that we can take the limit and move it sort of into the fraction, provided this f of x plus g of x is not 0. And we know that one of the other limit laws, the sum rule, says we can take the limit of this sum in the bottom and we can break it up and put the limit with each. And we know from what we're given that those two are not going to add to 0, so we're going to be okay with our division. And let's do the top while we're here. The multiplication by constant says we can take the 2 and put it out front. So that's going to look like that. And then in the bottom, the denominator, I should say, we split it up into 2 limits that are added together. And now we have it. We've got a limit of x goes to 3 of f of x, and g of x, and we know what all of those are. So the limit as x goes to 3 of f of x, we were given as 4. The limit as x goes to 3 of x, well, yeah. Oops. Should make my brackets match, eh? And again, the limit of x goes to 3 of f of x is 4, and the limit as x goes to 3 of g of x is 5. And so our final answer will be 8 over 9. So that's how you do that. And you may want to review the limit laws if you don't remember having heard about them recently. Talk to you soon. Bye.